Roger and Harry. 6. North. Chapter 1. The Escape. Serge. Laporte walked out of Sudbury Jail at 2:47 a.m. on a Tuesday in December. He didn't run, didn't rush, just walked. Slow, deliberate, like he was supposed to be there. The guard who let him out was named Danny Cormier, 32 years old. 2 kids, mortgage, gambling debt that kept growing no matter how much he paid. Serge had been paying Danny for 6 months, small amounts at first, $500 here, $1,000 there, enough to keep Danny hooked, enough to make him think he could pay off the debt and walk away clean. Then Serge told him what he really wanted. Danny hesitated, said it was too risky, said he'd lose his job, his pension, everything. Serge said, "You already lost everything, you just don't know it yet." Danny thought about it for 3 days. Then he said yes. The plan was simple. Danny would disable the cameras in the east corridor, unlock Serge's cell, walk him through the service entrance, out the back door, into the parking lot. A car would be waiting, keys in the ignition, cash in the glove box, clothes in the back seat. Serge would drive north, disappear. Danny would go back inside, lock the door, turn the cameras back on, act surprised when they found Serge's cell empty in the morning. Simple, except nothing was ever simple. Serge stood in the parking lot. The air was cold, sharp. It bit at his face, his hands. He wasn't used to it anymore. 5 months inside, and his body had forgotten what real cold felt like. The car was there, a beige Civic, old, rusted, the kind of car no one looked at twice. Serge got in, started the engine. It coughed, sputtered, then caught. He looked in the glove box, $5,000 in cash, rubber banded, a burner phone, a piece of paper with an address written on it. Serge didn't recognize the address. Didn't matter. He wasn't going there. He had his own plan. He drove south, not north, back toward Sudbury, back toward the city. He knew they'd expect him to run, to get as far away as possible, to disappear into the bush or cross the border or hide in some shithole town where no one knew his name. But Serge wasn't running. He had unfinished business. Roger Deschamps, Harry LeBlanc, Vincent Caruso. They'd cost him everything, his product, his money, his reputation, his freedom. And now he was going to cost them theirs. He drove past the city, took the back roads, avoided the highways, avoided the cameras, avoided the cops. He knew Sudbury, knew every street, every alley, every place to hide. He'd been planning this for 5 months. Every day in that cell, he'd been thinking, planning, waiting. Now it was time. He pulled off the road near Azilda, parked the car in the bush, covered it with branches. Snow. He walked the rest of the way, 2 kilometers through the trees, through the cold. His breath came out in clouds. His fingers were numb. His feet ached, but he kept walking. He knew where he was going. Harry's trailer. Chapter 2. The Call. Vincent. Vincent's phone rang at 4:15 a.m. He was awake. He didn't sleep much anymore. Too much going on, too many deals, too many people to manage. He looked at the screen. Unknown number. He answered. "Yeah?" A voice, nervous, shaken. "Mr. Caruso? Who's this?" "It's Danny. Danny Cormier. I work at the jail." Vincent sat up. "What do you want?" "Serge Laporte escaped. Tonight. About 2 hours ago." Vincent was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "How?" "I let him out." "You what?" "He paid me. A lot. I didn't have a choice. I got debts. I don't care about your debts. Where is he now?" "I don't know. He was supposed to go north, disappear, but I don't think he did. I think he's still in the area." "Why?" "Because he didn't take the money. He left it in the car, and he didn't go to the address I gave him. He went somewhere else." Vincent stood up, walked to the window, looked out at the city, at the lights, at the streets he was taking over, block by block. "Where do you think he went?" Vincent said. "I don't know, but if I had to guess, he's going after Roger and Harry, or you, or all 3. Vincent was quiet. "What do you want me to do?" Danny said. "Nothing. You already did enough. Don't call me again, don't contact me, don't even think about me, you understand?" "Yeah." Vincent hung up. He stood there for a moment, thinking, planning. Serge was out, and he was coming for them. Vincent had two choices. He could run, disappear, let Serge tear apart the city looking for him, or he could act first. Vincent didn't run. He picked up his phone, called Marcus. "Yeah?" Marcus said, groggy, half asleep. "Serge Laporte escaped. He's in the area. I need you to find Roger and Harry. Bring them to me. Now." "What? Why?" "Because Serge is going to come for them, and when he does, I want them somewhere safe, somewhere he can't find them." "Where?" "Timmins. I got a place up there. Isolated. Secure. Serge won't think to look there." "You want me to kidnap them?" "I want you to protect them. There's a difference." Marcus was quiet. Then he said, "Okay, I'm on it." Vincent hung up. He looked out the window, at the city, at the lights. Serge was out there, somewhere, waiting, planning. But Vincent was always 3 steps ahead, and he wasn't going to let Serge ruin what he'd built. Chapter 3. The Ride. Roger. The SUV drove for 2 hours. Roger sat in the back seat, Harry next to him. The 2 guys up front didn't talk, didn't look back, just drove. Roger tried to figure out where they were going. North, obviously. But where? The highway was empty, dark, snow on the sides of the road, trees everywhere. Harry was silent. His face was pale, his hands were shaken. "You okay?" Roger said. Harry didn't answer. "Harry?" "No, I'm not okay. We just got kidnapped. By guys with guns. We're being driven to the middle of nowhere. How the fuck am I supposed to be okay?" Roger didn't have an answer for that. The guy in the passenger seat turned around, the one with the scar. "Relax. You're not being kidnapped. You're being protected." "Protected from what?" Roger said. "Serge Laporte. He escaped tonight. Vincent thinks he's coming for you. So Vincent's taking you somewhere safe, somewhere Serge can't find you." Roger's stomach dropped. "Serge escaped?" "Yeah. About 3 hours ago. Vincent got word. Sent us to get you before Serge did." Harry looked at Roger. "Jesus Christ." Roger didn't say anything, just stared out the window, at the trees, at the dark. Serge was out, and he was coming for them. They drove through Cartier, then Gogama, then Folayette. Small towns, barely towns, just gas stations and motels and nothing else. The SUV turned off the highway, onto a dirt road. Narrow, bumpy. The headlights cut through the dark, lit up the trees, the snow. They drove for another 20 minutes. Then the road ended. A cabin. Small, old, logs, a chimney. Smoke coming out of the top. The SUV stopped. The doors unlocked. "Get out," the guy with the scar said. Roger and Harry got out. The cold hit them immediately. Sharp, biting. Roger's breath came out in clouds. The door to the cabin opened. Vincent stepped out. He was wearing a heavy coat, gloves, boots. He looked calm, relaxed, like this was normal. "Roger, Harry, welcome to Timmins." Chapter 4. The Cabin. Roger. The cabin was small. 1 room, a wood stove in the corner, a table, 4 chairs, 2 cots against the wall, a sink, a fridge. That was it. Vincent sat at the table, poured himself a drink. Whiskey. He didn't offer any to Roger or Harry. "Sit," Vincent said. They sat. Vincent looked at them. "Serge escaped tonight. He's in the area, probably looking for you, probably looking for me. I can't have that, so I'm keeping you here, out of sight, until this blows over." "How long?" Roger said. "I don't know. A week? Maybe 2, maybe longer. Depends on how long it takes to find Serge, or how long it takes for him to give up and leave." "And if he doesn't leave?" Vincent smiled. "Then we'll deal with it. But for now, you're staying here. You're going to work for me. You're going to do what I tell you, and you're going to keep your mouth shut. Understand?" Roger nodded. Harry nodded. Good, Vincent said. He stood up, walked to the door. There's food in the fridge, blankets on the cots. Don't leave the cabin. Don't make noise. Don't do anything stupid. My guys will check on you every day. Bring supplies. Make sure you're still alive. What are we supposed to do? Harry said. Vincent pointed to a duffel bag in the corner. You're going to break up product. Coke, I got 20 kilos coming in tomorrow. You're going to divide it into smaller amounts. Ounces, grams. Whatever I tell you. You're going to bag it, label it. Get it ready for distribution. That's it, Roger said. That's it. Simple work. Keeps you busy. Keeps you useful. And keeps you alive. Vincent opened the door. The cold rushed in. One more thing, Vincent said. Don't try to leave. There's nowhere to go. You're in the middle of nowhere. No phone, no car, no way out. You try to run, you'll freeze to death before you make it a kilometer. Understand? Roger nodded. Vincent left. The door closed. The lock clicked. Roger and Harry sat there, staring at the walls, at the floor, at nothing. Jesus Christ, Harry said. Yeah. We're prisoners again. Yeah. Harry stood up, walked to the window, looked out. There's nothing out there, just trees, snow, dark. Roger didn't say anything. Harry turned around. How long you think we're going to be here? I don't know. You think Serge is really coming for us? Yeah, I do. Harry sat back down, put his head in his hands. We're fucked, Roger. We're so fucked. Roger didn't argue. Chapter 5. The Work. Roger. The next day, the guys came back. The one with the scar and the one with the shaved head. They brought supplies. Food, water, blankets, and a duffel bag. Heavy. They dropped it on the table. 20 kilos, the guy with the scar said. You're going to break it up. Vincent wants it done by the end of the week. Ounces, grams, half grams, whatever's on this list. He handed Roger a piece of paper, handwritten, numbers, amounts, prices. You got a scale, you got bags, you got everything you need. Don't fuck it up. They left. Roger opened the duffel bag. Inside were bricks, white, wrapped in plastic. Tape. 20 of them. Harry stared at them. Jesus. Roger pulled one out, heavy, maybe a kilo. He unwrapped it. The powder was white, fine, packed tight. You ever done this before? Harry said. No. Me neither. Roger looked at the list, at the numbers, at the amounts. Guess we're learning. They worked all day. Roger used the scale, measured out ounces, grams, half grams, poured the powder into small plastic bags, sealed them, labeled them. Harry helped, held the bags, wrote the labels, stacked them in piles. It was slow, tedious. The powder got everywhere. On the table, on their hands, in the air. Roger's nose burned. His eyes watered. He tried not to breathe it in, but it was impossible. By the end of the day, they'd done 2 kilos. 18 to go. Roger's back hurt. His hands were shaken. His head pounded. Harry sat on his cot, stared at the wall. This is what we're doing now? This is our life? For now. And then what? I don't know. Harry lay down, closed his eyes. I hate this. I hate all of this. Roger didn't say anything, just stared at the bricks, at the powder, at the work they still had to do. Chapter 6. The days. Harry. The days blurred together. Wake up, eat, work, sleep, repeat. Harry lost track of time, didn't know what day it was, didn't care. The cabin was cold. The wood stove kept it warm enough to survive, but not warm enough to be comfortable. Harry's fingers were always numb. His feet ached. The food was basic. Canned soup, crackers, bread, peanut butter. Nothing fresh, nothing good. Harry ate because he had to, not because he wanted to. Roger worked constantly. Measured, bagged, labeled, stacked. He didn't talk much, didn't complain, just worked. Harry watched him, wondered how Roger did it, how he kept going, how he didn't break. Harry felt like he was breaking every day. A little more. The isolation was the worst part. No one to talk to except Roger. No TV, No radio, no phone, no connection to the outside world. Just the cabin, the work, the cold. At night, Harry lay on his cot, stared at the ceiling, listened to the wind outside, the creak of the trees, the crack of the ice. He thought about Sudbury, about his trailer, about his life before all this. It wasn't much, but it was his. Now he didn't have anything. Just this cabin, this work, this trap. He thought about Serge, about whether he was really out there, whether he was really coming for them. Harry hoped he wasn't. Hoped Serge had run, disappeared, gone somewhere far away, but deep down Harry knew better. Serge wasn't the type to run. Serge was the type to wait, to plan, to strike when you least expected it. And Harry was terrified of what would happen when he did. Chapter 7. The Visit. Vincent. Vincent came back after 2 weeks. He walked into the cabin, looked around, at the table, at the stacks of bags, at Roger and Harry. "How's it going?" Vincent said. "Fine," Roger said. Vincent picked up one of the bags, examined it, weighed it in his hand. "Good work. Clean, accurate. I'm impressed." Roger didn't say anything. Vincent sat down, poured himself a drink from a flask he pulled from his coat. "You boys holding up okay?" "Yeah," Roger said. "Harry?" Harry didn't answer, just stared at the floor. Vincent smiled. "You look like shit, Harry. You need to eat more, get some rest. Can't have you falling apart on me." "When can we leave?" Harry said. "Soon. Maybe another week. Serge is still out there. Still looking. But he's getting desperate, making mistakes. My guys are closing in. Once we find him, you can go home. And if you don't find him?" Vincent's smile faded. "Then you stay here, until it's safe, however long that takes." Harry looked at Roger. Roger's face was blank, unreadable. Vincent stood up. "Keep working. You're doing good. I'll check in again soon." He left. The door closed. The lock clicked. Harry put his head in his hands. "I can't do this anymore, Roger. I can't." Roger didn't say anything. Just went back to work. Chapter 8. The Break. Roger. 3 weeks in, Roger started to crack. Not visibly, not in a way Harry could see, but inside, in his head. The isolation was getting to him. The repetition, the cold, the endless work. He started having dreams. Bad ones. About Serge, about the camp, about the moment before the cops arrived. In the dreams, Serge didn't get arrested. He pulled the trigger, shot Roger in the chest. Roger felt the bullet, felt the pain, felt himself dying. Then he'd wake up, gasping, sweating, heart pounding. Harry never noticed. Harry was too lost in his own head. Roger thought about escaping, about walking out the door, into the bush, into the cold. But Vincent was right. There was nowhere to go, no phone, no car, no way to call for help. They were in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by trees, snow, dark. If Roger left, he'd die, freeze to death, get lost, starve. So he stayed, and he worked, and he waited. One night, Roger sat at the table, stared at the bricks, at the powder, at the bags. He thought about Vincent, about how easy it had been for him to lock them up here, to use them, to control them, and he thought about how even when they got out, they'd still be trapped, still be working for Vincent, still be in the game. There was no way out. There never had been. Roger closed his eyes, took a deep breath. Then he went back to work. Chapter 9. The Release. Roger. Vincent came back after 4 weeks. "Good news," he said. "Serge is gone. My guys tracked him to Sault Ste. Marie. He crossed the border. Went to Michigan. He's not coming back." Roger looked up. "You sure?" "I'm sure. He's done. He knows he can't win. He's cutting his losses, starting over somewhere else." Harry stood up. "So, we can leave?" "Yeah, you can leave. My guys will drive you back to Sudbury, tonight." Roger felt something loosen in his chest. Relief. Or maybe just exhaustion. "What about the work?" Roger said. "It's done. You did good. Real good. I'm impressed. You boys got potential. You're reliable. You don't ask questions. You don't complain. That's rare. Vincent pulled out an envelope, handed it to Roger. $5,000. Each. For your time, for your work, for keeping your mouths shut. Roger opened the envelope. Cash. Hundreds. 50s. Thanks, Roger said. Vincent smiled. Don't thank me yet. I got more work for you. When you're ready, when you're settled, we'll talk. He left. Roger and Harry packed their stuff, what little they had. Clothes, blankets, nothing else. The guys with the SUV came, loaded them in, drove them back to Sudbury. The ride took 2 hours. Roger stared out the window. At the trees, at the highway, at the world he'd been locked away from. It felt different, smaller, colder. When they got to Sudbury, the SUV dropped them off at Roger's apartment. Stay out of trouble, the guy with the scar said. They drove away. Roger and Harry stood on the sidewalk, staring at the building, at the door, at the world they'd come back to. You think Serge is really gone? Harry said. I don't know. You think Vincent's telling the truth? I don't know. Harry nodded. Yeah, me neither. They went inside. Chapter 10. The Return. Harry. Harry's trailer was exactly how he'd left it. Cold, dark, messy. He opened the door, stepped inside. The air smelled stale, like it had been closed up for weeks, which it had. He turned on the lights, looked around. Everything was the same. The couch, the TV, the kitchen, the bedroom. But it felt different, like it wasn't his anymore, like he didn't belong here. Harry sat on the couch, stared at the wall. He thought about the cabin, about the work, about the isolation, and he thought about how, even though he was home, he didn't feel free. He felt trapped. Still, always. He got up, went to the kitchen, opened the fridge, empty, except for a few cans of soup, some condiments, a carton of milk that had gone bad weeks ago. Harry grabbed a can of soup, opened it, ate it cold, straight from the can. It tasted like nothing, but he ate it anyway. That night, Harry lay in his bed, stared at the ceiling, listened to the wind outside, the creak of the trailer, the hum of the fridge. He thought about Serge, about whether he was really gone, whether Vincent was telling the truth. Harry didn't think so. Serge wasn't the type to run, wasn't the type to give up. Serge was the type to wait, to hide, to strike when you least expected it. And Harry had a feeling that Serge was still out there, somewhere, watching, waiting. Harry closed his eyes, tried to sleep, but he couldn't. Chapter 11. The Discovery. Roger. Roger went to check on Harry 3 days later. He knocked on the trailer door. No answer. He knocked again. Harry, you in there? Still no answer. Roger tried the door. It was unlocked. He opened it, stepped inside. The trailer was dark, cold. The heat wasn't on. Harry? No answer. Roger walked through the trailer, checked the bedroom, the bathroom, the kitchen. Harry wasn't there, but someone else was. Serge was sitting on the couch, in the dark, staring at the door. He looked different, thinner, weaker. His face was gaunt. His eyes were sunken. His clothes hung off him like they were 2 sizes too big. He had a gun, pointed at Roger. Sit down, Serge said. His voice was hoarse, weak. Roger sat, slowly. His heart was pounding. His hands were shaking. Where's Harry? Roger said. I don't know. He left this morning. Hasn't come back. How long you been here? Serge smiled, thin, bitter. 4 weeks? Since the night I escaped. I came here, hid, waited, ate whatever was in the cupboards, canned soup, crackers, peanut butter. Ran out a week ago. Been starving ever since. Roger stared at him. You been here the whole time? Yeah, the whole time. While you were up in Timmins, while Vincent thought I was in Michigan, I was here, waiting, planning. Why didn't you leave? Because I knew you'd come back. I knew you'd come here, and I knew I'd get my chance. Roger's stomach dropped. What do you want? I want what you owe me, $200,000, plus interest. That's $300 now. I don't have it. I know you don't. Vincent has it. but I can't get to Vincent. Vincent's too smart, too protected. So I'm going to get to you instead." "And then what?" Serge's smile faded. "Then I'm going to kill you, and Harry, and anyone else who got in my way." Roger didn't move, didn't breathe. Serge stood up, slow, shaky. The gun wavered in his hand. "You cost me everything, Roger, my product, my money, my reputation, my freedom, and now I'm going to cost you yours." He raised the gun, pointed it at Roger's chest. Roger closed his eyes. The door opened. Harry walked in. Saw Serge, saw the gun, saw Roger. "Jesus Christ," Harry said. Serge turned. The gun swung toward Harry. Roger moved. Fast. Lunged at Serge, grabbed his arm, twisted. The gun went off. The sound was deafening. The bullet hit the wall. Plaster exploded. Roger and Serge fell to the floor. Struggled. Fought. Harry rushed in, grabbed Serge's other arm, held him down. Serge was weak, starving. He didn't have the strength to fight back. Roger punched him, hard, in the face. Serge's head snapped back. Blood poured from his nose. Roger punched him again, and again, and again. "Roger, stop," Harry said. "You're going to kill him." Roger stopped, breathing hard. His knuckles were bloody. His hands were shaken. Serge lay on the floor, unconscious, blood on his face, his chest rising and falling. Barely. "What do we do?" Harry said. Roger looked around, at the trailer, at the mess, at Serge. "We leave," Roger said. "We go find Vincent, tell him what happened, let him deal with it." "What about Serge?" "Leave him. He's out cold. He's not going anywhere." Harry hesitated. "Roger, we can't just leave him here." "Why not? He was going to kill us. He said it himself." "Yeah, but nothing. We leave, now." Roger stood up, walked to the door. Harry looked at Serge, at the blood, at the gun on the floor. Then he followed Roger out. Chapter 12. The explosion, Harry. They were halfway to Vincent's place when Harry realized. "Roger?" "What?" "The stove, in the trailer. It was on. The gas was on." Roger stopped walking, turned around. "What?" "The stove. I turned it on this morning. To make coffee, I forgot to turn it off." Roger stared at him. "You left the gas on?" "Yeah. I didn't think—" "Jesus Christ, Harry!" They stood there, on the sidewalk, staring at each other. "We gotta go back," Harry said. "Why?" "Serge is out cold. He's not gonna wake up for hours." "But the gas?" "Fuck the gas. Let it run. Let the whole place blow up. I don't care." Harry shook his head. "Roger, if that trailer blows up with Serge inside, then Serge is dead, and we're free. Problem solved." "That's murder." "No, it's not. It's an accident. We didn't mean to leave the gas on. We didn't mean for him to be there. It's not our fault." Harry stared at him. "You're serious?" "Yeah, I'm serious. Serge was gonna kill us. He said it himself. Now he's out cold in a trailer with a gas leak. That's not our problem. That's his problem." Harry didn't say anything, just stood there, thinking, weighing the options. Then he nodded. "Okay, let's go." They kept walking. They were at Vincent's place when they heard the explosion. A low rumble, distant, like thunder, but sharper, louder. Roger and Harry looked at each other. "That was the trailer," Harry said. Roger nodded. "Yeah." They didn't say anything else, just stood there, staring at the sky, at the smoke rising in the distance. Vincent opened the door, looked at them. "What happened?" "Serge," Roger said. "He was in Harry's trailer, hiding, waiting for us. We found him. There was a fight. We knocked him out, left him there. Then the trailer blew up." Vincent stared at them. "The trailer blew up?" "Yeah. Gas leak. Harry left the stove on. It must have ignited." Vincent was quiet for a moment, then he smiled. "Is Serge dead?" "I don't know. Probably." "Good. That solves a lot of problems." He stepped aside. "Come in. Let's talk." Chapter 13. The Aftermath. Roger. The cops came the next day. They found Serge's body in the wreckage, burned, barely recognizable. They investigated, looked at the scene, talked to Harry, talked to Roger. Harry told them the truth. Or most of it. He said he'd left the stove on by accident. Came home. Found Serge in the trailer. There was a fight. Serge had a gun. They knocked him out. Left. Went to find help. Then the trailer blew up. The cops didn't believe him. Not at first, but the evidence backed him up. The gas line was old. Corroded. The stove was on. The ignition source was clear. It looked like an accident. A tragic, stupid accident. The cops closed the case. No charges, no investigation. Serge Laporte was dead, and Roger and Harry were free. Legally, anyway. Roger sat in his apartment, stared at the wall. He thought about Serge, about the look on his face when Roger punched him, about the blood, about the sound of the explosion. He thought about how easy it had been, how simple. They'd left Serge there, unconscious, in a trailer with a gas leak, and now he was dead. Roger told himself it was an accident, that they didn't mean for it to happen, that it wasn't their fault. But deep down, he knew better. They'd left him there, knowing the gas was on, knowing what would happen. They'd killed him, not with their hands, but with their choices, and now they had to live with it. Harry came over that night, sat on the couch, didn't say anything for a long time. Finally, he said, "You think we did the right thing?" Roger didn't answer. "Roger? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Does it matter?" "Yeah, it matters." Roger looked at him. "Why?" "Serge was going to kill us. He said it himself. We defended ourselves. We survived. That's all that matters. But we left him there. We knew the gas was on. We knew what would happen. So? So that makes us murderers." Roger shook his head. "No, it makes us survivors. There's a difference." Harry didn't look convinced. Roger stood up, walked to the window, looked out at the city, at the lights, at the streets. "We did what we had to do," Roger said. "We always do. That's how we survive. That's how we've always survived, and we're going to keep surviving, no matter what." Harry didn't say anything, just sat there, staring at the floor. Chapter 14. The Offer, Vincent. Vincent called them a week later. "Meet me at the grotto, tonight, 8. Roger and Harry showed up, sat in the booth in the back. Vincent was already there, drinking scotch, looking relaxed, like everything was going according to plan. "Boys," Vincent said, "how you holding up?" "Fine," Roger said. "Good, good. I got something for you. A job, legit, real money, no risk." Roger frowned. "What kind of job?" "Security. I own a company, Caruso Security. We do contract work, mines, warehouses, construction sites. I need guys I can trust, guys who know how to keep their mouths shut, guys who don't ask questions." "And you think that's us?" Harry said. Vincent smiled. "I know that's you. You proved it. Up in Timmins. With Serge. You're reliable. You're loyal. You're exactly what I need." Roger leaned back. "What's the pay?" $40 grand a year. Each. Plus benefits. Plus overtime. Plus bonuses if you do good work." Roger and Harry looked at each other. "That's a lot of money," Harry said. "It is, and it's legit. You'll be on the books, paying taxes, building a resume. You'll look like normal law-abiding citizens, which is exactly what you need right now." Roger thought about it. 40 grand. Legit work. No more schemes. No more robberies. No more running. It sounded too good to be true, which meant it probably was. "What's the catch?" Roger said. Vincent's smile widened. "No catch. You work for me. You do what I tell you. You keep your mouth shut. That's it." "And if we say no?" Vincent's smile faded. "Then you're on your own. No protection, no money, no help. Serge is dead, but his crew is still out there. They know what happened. They know you were involved. You think they're just going to let it go? You think they're going to forget?" Roger clenched his jaw. "So we don't got a choice." "You always got a choice, Roger, but some choices are better than others." Roger looked at Harry. Harry looked back. His face was tired, defeated. "Okay," Roger said. "We'll do it." Vincent raised his glass. Good. You start Monday. I'll send you the details. He drank, smiled. Roger and Harry left. Chapter 15. The Job. Roger. The job was at a mine outside Azilda, the same mine they'd stolen copper from years ago. Roger recognized it immediately. The fence, the gate, the buildings, the piles of scrap metal. Vincent met them there, showed them around, introduced them to the site manager, a guy named Bill. Older, gruff, didn't ask questions. You'll be working nights, Vincent said, midnight to 8. You'll patrol the site, check the fence, make sure no one's breaking in, make sure nothing goes missing. Simple work. Easy money. Roger looked around. At the scrap piles, at the copper, at the metal. There's a lot of stuff here, Roger said. Vincent smiled. Yeah, there is. Tens of thousands of dollars worth. Maybe more. The company don't keep track of it. They just pile it up, let it sit. Eventually they'll sell it. But until then, it's just sitting there, unguarded, unwatched. Roger frowned. You want us to steal it? I want you to notice it. I want you to see the opportunity. And I want you to know that if some of it goes missing, not a lot, just a little, no one's going to notice. No one's going to care. Harry looked at Roger. Roger looked at Vincent. This is your parting gift, Vincent said. You work for me. You do good work, and on the side you make a little extra. Enough to get ahead. Enough to pay off your debts. Enough to start fresh. Roger didn't say anything. Just stared at the scrap piles, at the copper, at the opportunity. Vincent patted him on the shoulder. Think about it. You got time. He left. Roger and Harry stood there, staring at the mine, at the scrap, at the trap closing around them again. You think he's serious? Harry said. Yeah, I think he is. You think it's a trap? Yeah, probably. So what do we do? Roger thought about it. Thought about the money, the opportunity, the risk. Then he smiled. We do it. We take the copper. We make the money. We get ahead. And then what? I don't know, but we'll figure it out. We always do. Harry shook his head. This is a bad idea, Roger. Yeah, probably, but it's the only idea we got. Chapter 16. The Heist. Roger. They planned it for 2 weeks, watched the site, learned the patterns, figured out when the other guards came, when they left. When the site was empty, they figured out which scrap piles had the most copper, which ones were easiest to access, which ones no one would notice if they went missing. They rented a truck, bought tarps, gloves, tools, and then, on a Friday night, they did it. Roger and Harry pulled up to the mine at midnight, clocked in, did their rounds, checked the fence, the gate, the buildings. At 2 a.m., the site was empty. No other guards, no workers, no one. Roger backed the truck up to the scrap pile, opened the tailgate. They worked fast, loaded the copper, pipes, wires, sheets, whatever they could carry. The truck filled up quick. Maybe 500 pounds, maybe more. Roger covered it with tarps, tied it down. They drove away, slow, casual, like they were supposed to be there. No one stopped them. No one saw them. No one cared. They drove to a scrapyard in Hanmer, a place Roger knew, a place that didn't ask questions. The guy at the counter weighed the copper, calculated the price. 3,200, he said. Roger and Harry looked at each other. 3,200, Harry said. Yeah, copper's up right now. You got good stuff here, clean, no rust, no contamination. He handed Roger the cash. Hundreds, 50s, 20s. Roger counted it. 3,200. Exactly. He split it with Harry. 1,600 each. They walked out, got in the truck, drove away. Roger sat in the driver's seat, stared at the cash in his hand. $1,600 for one night's work. Easy, clean, no risk. He thought about Vincent, about the job, about the trap, and he thought about how, for the first time in a long time, they'd actually won. They'd pulled it off, made money, got ahead. It felt good. It felt like maybe, just maybe, things were finally turning around. Harry sat next to him, staring at his own cash. "You think Vincent knows?" "Probably." "You think he cares?" "I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not." Harry nodded. "So, what do we do now?" Roger smiled, started the truck. "We do it again." They drove back to Sudbury, through the dark, through the cold, through the streets they knew so well. Roger thought about the mine, about the copper, about the money, and he thought about how even though they'd won, they were still trapped, still working for Vincent, still in the game. But for now, for tonight, they'd won. And that was enough. End of Book 6.